the dream that you have, like as a millennial, the dream that you have about Kenya, that is your dream. Don't try and force your children into a dream that they cannot envision. When you have teenagers and you're trying to take them home because you think that they need to walk through the shoes that you did while growing up, and they end up not liking the whole idea, and especially if you are in a situation whereby you and your significant other are divorced and you have an arrangement about custody, and one child, the children are caught in between, it can cause you a lot of problems. My name is Kibe. I'm calling you from California in Big Bear in the mountains.
Who's this?
Kibe, yeah.
Karibu Kibe.
Yeah.
Kibe from the mountains in California.
Big Bear, California. Okay. All right. Kibe, talk to us.
Karibu.
So I wanted to share with you regarding if you go home with your children, you need to make sure that they know where they're going.
Yes.
Because if you don't prepare them, what will happen is that they can call child abuse on you, and you can end up having the Department of State reaching out to you to find out what's going on. So there's something called the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and it's a national body. And when you have teenagers and you're trying to take them home because you think that they need to walk through the shoes that you did while growing up, and they end up not liking the whole idea, and especially if you are in a situation whereby you and your significant other are divorced and you have an arrangement about custody, and one child, the children are caught in between, it can cause you a lot of problems. So you want to make sure that the dream and the vision you have about returning back to Kenya, that your children also embrace it, and your significant other, if you're divorced or separated, they understand that that is part of your vision. And if you have like a court order where there's custody arrangements, that is incorporated at court. And it is stipulated that you'll be going to Kenya, those kind of things. Because I will tell you, gentlemen, the Department of State, if there is one thing that they protect, number one, they will protect the airspace of the United States. Number two, they will protect their children who are citizens. And to cut the long story short, I was able to sort out the issue itself, but it did cost me my employment. It did cost a lot of alimony, a lot of things that went wrong. And as of right now, I have one kid who's really gung-ho about Kenya, and I have another one that really does not want anything to do with Kenya. And it was my fault because I assumed that exposing them to Kenya at middle school age would be appropriate. But if you do not wean your children to learn about your roots when they are young, you will be wasting your time. The last thing I'm going to say is the dream that you have, like as a millennial, the dream that you have about Kenya, that is your dream. Don't try and force your children into a dream that they cannot envision. Let them create their own path as you dream and romanticize about Kenya. But something positive I would say, when this whole incident happened, my kid got sick I come from the area of Limuru and Tigoni. My kid got very sick, and I needed to get him to the hospital. And there is a mission hospital close by in Tigoni, but we went and we were referred to another hospital called Nazareth. And when we went there, I'll be very, very honest. I thought my kid was not going to make it because he almost drowned. He decided to go and swim with the rest of the boys out there, and he did not know how to swim really good. But the doctors there saved my kid's life, and they never asked me to pay any bribes. They did their job, and I was really, really impressed. I got to give credit where it is. But that day when I spent like the entire night at the hospital, this one clinical officer told me that there's no point of you taking your child to Kenyatta or any other hospital. We are going to stabilize him here. And the lucky thing that I had is there's this traveler's insurance that I had purchased. And that is my parting shot would be anybody going to Kenya, whether you're visiting or you're going to explore, make sure you have traveler's insurance. Because the traveler's insurance I had worked perfectly. I was able to get my kids in a plane all the way to California at the Children's Hospital of Orange County. And I didn't have to pay a dime. And
Wow.
Actually, 2 years ago, when I got my tax refund, I donated it to Nazareth Hospital.
Wow.
Because of what they did. That's something that I just wanted to share.
Thank you,
As
Kibe.
for me, my vision about Kenya, I'm not yet ready for Kenya because of the family dynamics that I just shared. But if you're a man and you have a vision for Kenya, please make sure it aligns. You know, you can't be 1 foot in Kenya and 1 foot in America. It will never work.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Asante
Thank you,
sana.
thank you,
Thank you,
Kibe.
Kibe, for sharing.
Thank you.
Karibu.
Yes. First of all, I want to really thank Mr. Kimani for calling in. I know him from way back when he used to live in Massachusetts. And I want to really thank him for being very candid. And I think you should make him a regular guest. He's very, very good with words. But I really want to thank him for sharing his experience. And I think the comments, I think everybody, like Mike Tyson says, everybody has a plan until they're punched in the face, right? And all these people opining who've never moved, who don't know the situation. I love that he said he moved because of his parents. I think a lot of people don't understand what that means when you have to make a decision and move back. I moved back in 2000 actually. I moved back, but I moved back because I'd gone through a very ugly breakup and I thought I might die. And when I went to Kenya, I didn't have money. I remember I'd only saved maybe could do 10,000. And I remember when I went to Kenya and people realized I was not coming back soon, everybody would be like, why would you come back? Nini. And they're like, why would God give you a chance to go to America? Alafu narudi. And I'm like, do you understand that I left because I thought if I stayed in America any longer, I would have died of depression and all those things I was going through. And the only person who understood it is my mom, right? And I'll tell people, mi sikuwa nimefukuzwa nyumbani. Like I had not been kicked out to go to America. Correct. Right? But everybody had an opinion that, oh, you should have stuck it through. You should have done this. You know how many people are trying to go to America. Nini. And I feel like when Tim shares his story, it's the same thing. All these people think they would have done something different. They should move and do the things they think he should have done. It's annoying because that's his experience. And I really want to commend him for sharing all the aspects. I totally get what he's saying about people not paying. because I have friends in Kenya who have trouble getting paid. Or like one of my friends, he's a lawyer. He works for all these big people, and somebody will owe you like 5 million, but he pays you in 50,000 increments, which you cannot do anything. And then it's not because that person does not have money, but they just want to frustrate you and beat you down, right? So unaenda nakupatia 50,000 after 2 months and nakupatia 100K, money that cannot change your life in that instance. It's just to pay your bills, right? So I totally understand what he's saying, and I want to thank him for sharing his story. And I hope his comeback has been great for him and for his family. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjeri. Thank you so much.
Sana, Anjeri.
Thank you so much.
And I want to say, me, when I went back to Kenya, I stayed for 1 year. And I relate to what he was saying about when you come back, your antennas are up. When I came back, I actually had a very different perspective on how I should do things. And it was actually a good thing to go to Kenya at that point and come back. You come back with a very different perspective. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Great. Right. Yeah. So that's I think that's one big takeaway we are getting. When you go back there, stay for a little while, you come back here, you come with a different perspective, and I think it's good. I think I should also try it. I don't know that's gonna kill my. I don't know that's gonna kill my romantic face,
sure about that.
or I don't know what's gonna happen.
But then,
hold on. Let's check.
Kuna
2502. Hello.
Hello, wazee, mnanisikia?
Yes, tunakusikia. Let us know your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Tony Kier. I'm calling from Chicago.
All right.
Maju.
All right, Tony, talk to us.
So, I am so glad. I was just going through, some my scrolling, and after I came across this show. But hey, you guys are doing a wonderful job. And I'm listening to Kimani there. I think he's in Arizona. But man, it's like you're reading my mail. Because I'm one of those guys also who came back. So back in 2016, Nilirudi, just before COVID, Ikuje. But now keep in mind, me, I've been here over 30 years. And I decided to come back. But one thing I will say is moving back Nyumbani is a process. It's not an event. This is something you have to, just slowly ukitaka vizuri ujipange. Because if you just ghafla go, it might be an issue. But here's the other thing, guys. Most of the guys that I know that have moved back and kind of been successful, for lack of a better word, their transition has been very smooth. Most of the guys, I'm not saying everybody, but most of them are from old money families. Wale majamaa unasikia buda wao ni huyu, mama yao ni huyu. They come back, connection is easy, wanapotafutiwa job. Au wakirudi, it's so much easier. Lakini if you're new money folks, kama sisi, tulikuja huku kutafuta. Sasa ndio ati tunataka kurudi. Hey, make sure, jamaa, you are well sorted. And like Kimani was saying, I don't know what a plan is. Even when the NBA, they go to play, see, everybody has a plan to win. Lakini you lose. So, our plan is just as good as how things will work out for you. But you guys are doing a wonderful job. You are, exposing people out here because it's not an easy thing. Like I said, it's an event. It's not a process.
All right. Thank you very much, Tony.
Thanks.
Okay.
Let's wacha nijaribu hii 254 9349. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Karibu.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Loud and clear.
Hello, this is Esther Muluka.
Karibu, Esther.
Karibu, Esther.
Hello.
Go ahead, Esther. We can hear you.
Yes, Esther Muluka from Kenya. Oh, you can hear me this time. All right, all right. I have a lot of things to say, so I'm just going to jumble all the points that I have. All right, to start with, I like what the last caller just said. People leave Kenya from different, levels. I am a person who left Kenya I did not leave Kenya willingly. I didn't want to leave my country at all. But circumstances forced me out of Kenya. I left during the Moi era, where I couldn't get a job. I couldn't do what I wanted. So I was forced out of Kenya. I've never wanted to leave. That's why I always come back. So that's one thing to remember. And then when it comes to returnees, we need to figure out, where are you going back to? Are you going back to a cosmopolitan area like Nakuru? Are you going back to Kitale? Are you going back to your village where you were born? Or are you going back to Nairobi? Because different parts of Kenya are different when it comes to security. I'm just going to talk about a taboo subject. For example, I'm from Vihiga, and nobody really cares. They know this person is from America. Sometimes I go with bags of stuff, to deliver to people, medicine, photographs for grandmas who don't have cell phones. They want to see their grandchildren. People see me with, I literally walk, from our home and deliver stuff to people. And all people can say is, hi, how are you doing? You've come from America, give me 50 bob. But it's not a security issue. Nobody is going to come and look for me or, come and ask for money or, come and make demands at night. But to tell you the truth, there are parts of Kenya where you cannot reveal yourself. Some people don't even reach their village, or they stay in Nairobi because it might become a security issue. Some people might come at night and demand, your son has come from America, we need our share, So it depends where you're going back to. It depends on where you came from. There are some people who came from old money, like you said. It's smooth for them to come home because there's money, there's work. Sometimes they don't even work. They just drive their parents' big cars, and then there are other people who have to come and build from scratch. So some people would not want a difficult experience. That's why they say, I don't want to go back to Kenya, because of the insecurity, Hello, are you guys still there?
Yes.
We're here.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear
Yes.
you.
So there's the insecurity of, we might be mugged, or might be, mobbed and asked for money, And so are you going back to scratch? Are you going to look for land? Are you going to buy land? Or are you moving back home? There are people who move back to their father's mansions, and life is still good. So for me, I've always loved Kenya, like I said, and I never ever wanted to leave. Right now I'm in Kenya enjoying myself. I dread the day that I'll have to go back to America. What takes me back to America is looking for money, looking for that dollar, collecting that little dollar, and then coming to Kenya and staying for as long as possible. But if I was from old money, I would never have left Kenya. And if I had money right now, I would not come to the US, maybe just to visit or to go to, go and get medical treatment. But I'm deep in the village right now as we are talking, Kuna Pambazuka. I'm deep in the village and I love it. I don't live a lavish life, but there are things that I do subconsciously, the American way, I think like an American. Right now, most government transactions are going through e-citizen. And something makes me a little bit uncomfortable because people are actually playing with the system. Everything you do any government transaction has to, especially monetary transaction, has to go through e-citizen. And what is happening now is that people just ask you to send that money to their phone and they'll give you the service. That's what's happening. And I'm like, what the heck, so long as I get what I want. I was at the airport. I needed a vaccine because I need to travel to some place that needs yellow fever. And you have to send that money to e-citizen, but they give you numbers that don't work, and it is they do it on purpose so that you send the money to their personal phone. So somebody's trying to get money through e-citizen, but citizens are kind of, Kenyans are playing that game. And so there are these things that are done that are not ethical, but who are you to change the system? Or I'm deep in the village, and the first contact of security in the village is called a headman, Mzee wa Mtaa, and he doesn't have a salary. So for you to get anything done, you have to give him something, you understand, on the side. And I sometimes I forget to do that. So when you make a distress call, nobody will come because the Mzee wa Mtaa is the one who will collect the number, the number kumi guys to run to your compound to see what's going on. I don't know whether you guys are getting this. So for me, it escapes my mind that I should give the Mzee wa Mtaa something, And most of the time I don't, because I don't see why I should. But even the sub-chief wants something. The chief wants something. Everybody, this commissioner, everybody wants a kickback, and that does not, it rubs me the wrong way, because when you've lived in America 30 plus years, you kind of have a different mindset, Your ethics are different, and you just find some things to be totally unacceptable. But that's how this society is, and you will not fit in if you don't do what the Kenyans do. So you have to go to Rome and do what the Romans do. So, and somebody talked about children, and there are some children from the diaspora who thrive very well in the village. It's just the mindset and maybe the comfort level that they are living in at the village, or just the way you've socialized your children. Some children will really thrive. I've seen kids thrive very well in the village.
Okay.
But somebody talked about if you have children, if you have a spouse. Somebody like me, I'm very free. I am an empty nester. There's no children tying me down, so I can do what I want when I want. My profession also allows me to move back and forth. And I would love to be in Kenya. I would rather be teaching Kenyan students, because there's something about Kenyan students that is absent from the American kids. American kids can be a little bit dense. They don't know anything about the world. Makes my work very difficult. You want to teach somebody about Haitian literature. They don't even know where Haiti is. So you have to start with a geography lesson first, tell them about Haiti, tell them a little history about Haiti, instead of just diving into the literature, session. So there are some good things about Kenya that people don't realize. And like I said, I don't know why we amplify our failures. You can fail in the diaspora just the way you can fail in Kenya. It doesn't mean that going to the diaspora makes you a success. No. You can succeed anywhere.
Okay.
People succeed here and they never leave this country. Yes.
All right.
So, like I said, I have so much to say.
Okay.
What else do I have to say?
Yes, sawa. Esther, yeah, we
so,
have a couple of other callers. We have a
coming
couple
from the diaspora, yes.
Yes.
Coming from the diaspora puts you in a dire situation. People mark you like they want money from you. They think you have a lot of money, which is a misconception. They are Kenyans. I have friends in Kenya who are very successful and they've never left the country. But people kind of just have this mindset that when you come from the diaspora, you have money. Like a man was asking me the other day, kwani unafanyia mawe? Because when I was trying to ask for a better price, I was trying to buy something from him, and to them, they think people in the diaspora just flash money.
You should
and I'm
never
like,
negotiate.
No, we are just like anybody else. We budget too. So things like bribing, you have to bribe your way, whether you like it or not. You know?
All right.
Whether you like it or not. But there's some luxuries in the diaspora. For example, I have so many
Esther, we really have to.
When you pay them, it's like 300 shillings. That's like $2. I don't know.
Esther, we really have to go to the next caller. Because there's a couple of callers on queue. Many people are calling in, so thank you so much. And then we're gonna get to Kimani, like
one mic.
Before we go to the next call, I want to come back to Kimani. There's this issue of like bribery. I personally have been told this by my own family members back home who know me. They tell me that you will not survive in Kenya. Ukikuja nayo attitude yako that you're not paying any bribe or you're not doing anything. They're like, you will not survive. Yes, you will not survive in Kenya. So now my question here, Kimani, is that are we in a position where as Kenyans, I'm not even talking as diasporans anymore, where we've become so powerless that we're going to live in a society where because this has gotten worse. It used to be there, but I think it has gotten a notch higher.
Yeah, but that's what I said.
Where it's everywhere.
The entire East African system and shit system are all mixed up now. It's worse.
So now the problem is, if we all say, okay, if we can't deal with that, we're going to exit. Are we somehow, enabling this system without knowing it? Kimani?
I think we enable it. And there's a point where you have to accept where you draw the line. So bribing is just not something I thought I wanted to do, because then you perpetuate the problem. And if enough of us say no, then that cop will learn to live within that salary that he's been allocated. It's the one part of the life I was just I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. And to be honest, we were leaving Carnival after celebrating some transaction, and I was going to drop my colleague home in Karen and leave Carnival up Langata Road, just over there near, I think it's called Rangers, the restaurant getting into the Nairobi National Park. There was Alcoblo. And yeah, I had a few glasses of wine with dinner. And Alcoblo, boss, you're thrown in the back of the pickup. And to me, this was an experience I had never been through. But I knew I wasn't going to drive. So on that day, I ended up at Langata police station, and I was thrown in a cell. And some things you just have to experience in life. It was unfortunate because the next day I missed a friend's mother's funeral. That was sad, but I stuck to my gun. I wasn't going to do it. It just felt foolish. But the funny thing was, during the duration of the night, the crowd that was about, let's say, 40 people that you were all thrown in the cell started dwindling. By the time morning came, there was about 5 people. Those are the ones whose bribes had not figured. All the other guys had gone. And me, hata mara ya mwisho, sikulipa bribe. And then you go to Kibera court. Hey, the guys were laughing because me, I was honestly saying, first of all, I wasn't drunk. And I had a few glasses of wine. But the trouble you go through to make a point, it's exhausting. But I think it's the right thing to do. If we all just willy-nilly just say, okay, you'll chota, man, it gets to be a bad cycle. And you'll often be the target. Just like they know you when you walk into the building and they know you're a target. You have dollars. Your accent will give you away no matter what you do. So how many times do you pay that? It's an expensive tax, man.
Yes, it is indeed an expensive tax. Another caller. Today the callers, man, are relentless.
This is their show. So let's see. 2873. Hello.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Bandio, Ali, on Mike, Mika, Omos. It's Nixon, man, from Boston. How are you?
Hi, Nixon. Talk to us from Boston.
Sema bwana Murioki ni aje.
It's been a minute, guys. It's been a minute. First and foremost, I want to take this opportunity and thank my boy, Tony. Yeah, man. Much kudos. A lot of props. Thank you so much for doing this. And for literally just schooling people. And I think this to me is brother skipper. I've known Tony for the last, I don't know, maybe 40 years. He's one of my very good friends. And I'm very, very happy that he's actually, gone through the process of, like he said on the call, the previous show, of basically healing and just wanting to talk about it because it's a learning experience, man. Tony, asante sana, shukran. And you guys obviously for having it. Mine is very few. I mean, I have a few comments to make regarding this topic. And personal experiences as well. I tried this move 2024. Okay, I was gone for about maybe 8 months or so. And let me tell you something, my friends. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what strategy you think you may have leaving. Kenya today is a different beast. And to be honest with you, you can't be here in this country, having lived for over 30 years. You can, just like Tony said, you can't show up having left Kenya when you're 19 and you're going back in your 50s or 40s thinking that it's the same country that you left, especially if you've never gone back with the mentality of going back. Half the time we've gone home, it's been a treat for, go see your paros, go do the hani thing, dunda sherehe, the what, samabani, story. But the minute you make the conscious decision that, hey, you'd like to go back, and either because, you think you have something to offer, be it Alex, or any other field, right? I tried both. You have no idea. You guys know me, and I tried. I even tried at one point. I was trying to put down a group of nurses. Just we have an influx. We have a lot of qualified RNs in this country, and some of them were just curious, trying to figure out how can they give back. They just wanted to give back. So I came up with this brilliant idea, or so I thought, of trying to contact the board, the medical board in Kenya. It's Kenya, the Doctors and Pharmaceutical Board, or whatever it has. So it's called. Alex can give us the acronyms. And I had a couple of meetings with the president then, trying to figure out how we can do this. Like, nurses come, we have people coming all year round. Can we create a program in conjunction with them where some of these people are just willing to, on their own time, to come home for vacation? When they come home for 3 weeks, a month, or whatever, just spend a week and learn about the Kenyan medical system, these are, and see how they can help and do all that. My guy, the first thing they told me was, for them even to think about going to a hospital on a professional aspect, in other words, in their professional work, they have to pay for a license, and it's 30,000 a year. Now I'm trying to figure out. Wait a minute. These are people who are coming back, and they just want to volunteer. There's already a shortage of medics in Kenya. These are people who just want to come back and volunteer their services for free. They pay their way there. They're just coming instead of sherehe, they do that 1-2 weeks and say, you know what, let me share the new tips and plans of what we are doing outside the country and see how we can implement it at home. Just like what Alex was talking about. And then you hear that, you've got to do a 30. I have a very common friend of ours, and most of you may know her, maybe you do not. This lady worked for Walgreens as a doctor. She's a pharmacist, a doctor. And when she moved back home, her story is on Facebook. You can look it up. I can share the name. But when she went back home, she put her life, she never gave up. But it took her, I want to say, almost 4.5 years of doing internships. Mind you, she was the regional director for Walgreens pharmacies in the United States, right? They put her through the ringers. And for her to be able to get her license, she actually had to write the pharmacy manual, like of regulations, and update it for the board. That's how, when they realized that she's actually serious, and she got her license to practice in Kenya.
Okay.
So there's all these things. There's all these things that hinder people and whatnot and so forth. But back to my experience. So I tried to move. Let me just say, try to move. I actually went home and I wanted to experience the life. I wanted to see how I can make things work. Or even if I moved to Kenya, how I'd maneuver doing a few things. Well, short of losing a lot of money, you actually realize that Kenya is a different ballgame. Things that you're promised, or things that you may think that you're doing, shaking a gentleman's hand here, that system doesn't exist. Okay. Kenya, there is no networking. Okay. There's no networking. It's who you know, your contacts, your connections, and whatnot. But anyway, long story short, man, I'm so happy that we did this subject, and let's keep talking about it. But thank you very much for taking my call.
Thank you, Nixon. Long time, my friend.
Shukran, Sana Nixon. Thank you so much from Boston. Wow, we're getting very interesting phone calls today.
Well, yeah.
We have another caller.
Yes, we do have 2 more callers now. With time, we have hard stop at 11, so please make it brief here to Saidia.
We need 2.5 minutes.
2.5.
Yeah, no ABCD.
9144. Karibu.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Welcome to the One Mic Show.
Asante sana kwa majina. My name is Robinson Motiso. As you well know, you guys, we met a couple of years ago. This was in 2012.
Oh.
I'm the coffee guy.
Okay. Oh yes, Robinson. Where are you based now?
Texas.
Now I'm based in Houston, Texas. I'm still doing coffee trading.
Okay. All right.
And I'm happy to be in your show today.
Okay.
I've been listening to some of the episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm transitioning back and forth to Kenya here and there.
Okay.
With the new coffee programs that have been happening, and nimekuwa kabuda. So
Okay.
I have to accept that.
Yeah. So how has your experience been moving to Kenya?
Well, there's certain aspects. When you look at, there's one aspect which most people are forgetting. It's where do you want to retire? Most people, of course, they say, "Oh, I retire home and I want to build a house, blah blah blah." But then there's aspect of family. In my family, I have generations. I have a Gen Z. I have a Alpha. And the Alphas, they're okay. They love it because they play with kids. But the Gen Zs, they're like, this is so weird. Why are we doing this? Why is this guy doing that? Why is that guy peeing on the wall? Certain questions, it's awkward. And then there's certain aspects we have to look at, even here, we as diasporans. One is the diaspora news somehow, they have a negative connotation of moving back. They give you the worst of the worst. Like there's one news article, they will tell you, there's two guys who moved back to Kisii or somewhere, and they were killed, by their family members because of jealousy. Uliona kuna Mkenya mwingine aliuliwa kwa kuwekea mchele, mchele meaning the drugs, he was drugged in a club. So those kind of negative news kind of flow amongst us and create a lot of fear. And then there's the Esther lady who spoke about, kama watu waliomoka, there's that kind of what you come and find a mansion. Right now as we are talking, the people who own those mansions or even the people who own businesses back home, they're feeling the pinch back home. So you're sending more money for healthcare to pay SHA to cover most of the costs which the government is supposed to be doing. So here, it's not even about the black tax. It's like now you've become an NGO, sort of. Saidia huyu, which is okay based on, the level of the amount you can contribute. Or saa zingine you just say, man, takuombea, man, lakini, hata hivi Trump anatuchapa kiboko. So you have to keep saying that all the time.
Yeah.
But all in all, we have to think about even the kids.
Yes.
Let's not leave the kids out of the picture. Hii mambo ya leaving the kids out of the picture, hiyo sipendi. When you're retiring, involve your family. When you're trying to go back home, hata kama uliachana na bibi ama anything, involve the kids.
Yes.
Because one day, that really matters a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you Robinson. Now stay in touch tuweze kuzungumza zaidi kuhusiana na hiyo tea stuff.
Okay, shukran Robinson.
Shukran sana.
All the way from Houston, Texas. Thank you so much.
All right. Twende kwa 4905. Hello.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.